Good morning, everybody. How are we all? Are we having a lovely Tuesday so far? Just in case this is your first visit here, my name is Ali Board and I am broadcasting live from my studio, Down in Farm Studio, down here on the beautiful south coast in Dorset. Now you might be watching me live on Facebook, you might be watching me on Catch Up via Facebook, or you might be watching me through either my website or YouTube. Either way, you are astonishingly welcome. Today is Tuesday the 15th of September, and apparently it's International Dots Day. Who knew that was a thing? I only found out last week that was a thing. So I thought, what better way than to introduce my Technique Tuesday this week to a bit of pointillism. So that way of putting dots together, made famous by artists such as Seurat in that kind of post-impressionist era, and creating a picture. So I thought I'd do a little demonstration for you. But if you are watching me live through Facebook this morning, then say hello in the comments. I've got them down to my left and I will give you a shout out. Let's see who is in the room already. Carolyn, good morning. Lou, Karine, Linda, Jean, Hilary, Ali D, good morning. Mr. Templeman, sup? Who else we got? Oh, was it wet where you are, Linda? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Anna's asking me if I've recovered from my weekend adventures. That makes it sound much more glamorous than it actually was, where I was just on the road teaching. Sally is saying that she's dusted off her dots pen in anticipation. Well, I hope I can do it justice for you, Sally. What else have we got? Who else have we got in the room? Oh gosh, people popping up left, right and centre. I can't keep up. Jane, good morning. Who have I missed? Sarah Jane. Good morning, Sarah Jane. It's very nice to see you. Waving from not far away, I'm sure. Susan, my apologies if I miss you, if you've put a comment in there. Everything kind of popping up faster than I can see it. So let's talk about dots, and there's a piece of kit that I want to show you and share with you. You might not all have it. That's absolutely fine. You can sit there with a pen and create your picture in a very similar way. But I thought it would be quite fun for you to see this piece of kit. And the piece of kit that I am going to show you is this, which is the dots pen. As you can probably see in the background, I've got my black pad all prepared. I will get to that in just a second. But here is my dots pen. So it comes in a little tin like this, and here it is. It is an electronic thing. It is something mechanical. I know that sometimes scares all of you. You can recharge it. So I've got my little charger over to my right hand side that I actually plug into a USB port, and you stick it in there, charge it all up. It's got a lid on it like that, and it takes refills a little bit like a biro does, and I've got a little selection of them in here. So I can't actually remember what it comes with, but you certainly are able to get replacements for them. I'm going to be using the white today. As you can probably see, I've got my black pad already. This is got a white refill in it, and you change the refill just by unscrewing it, and it fits into a little magnetic element like that in there. So it slides into there and you pop it into that part and then screw it up. Now, if you haven't ever encountered a dots pen before, you're going to be thinking, well, that's marvellous, Ali, but it just looks like a big fancy biro. So what does it do? Let me show you. So this is the Frisk black pad. Nice paper. It's not the heavyweight one, it's just the lightweight one. It's 135 grams. And if I drew with it, you would see that I get a nice white line, bit like a gel pen, come out. Now, here on the side, you've got a little button, and if you press it once, I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if we can get that into the camera. You can see that that refill starts to pulsate, and it means that if I have it very lightly on my piece of paper and I move it around, what it does is hammer away at the surface and creates a little dotted effect. Now I actually find the first setting to be a little bit slow. So if you press the button twice again, you'll see that it rotates really quite quickly, hammers away quite quickly. And I find this a much better way of using it. You can probably hear it hammering away in the background. Does take a little bit of time to get used to, because if you press too hard it just stops, and if you lift off too much then you don't make any impression at all. So you kind of have to hover it above the paper. What you get is the most amazing selection of textures which you can build up. Obviously the closer together that you have your dots, the whiter in this case, because I've got a white refill in it. Let's hold that up to the camera so you can see what's happening. And the further apart that you have the dots, the more the black is taking over. So most of you know that I have a bit of an affinity with black paper. I do quite like using the black paper. And so I thought, particularly for camera purposes today, this would be an interesting way of demonstrating for you. Now, I know some of you out there have been talking to me a lot recently because you are struggling with your mark making. And I think this is an interesting tool to have. Now, I'm not necessarily going to recommend that you all rush out and buy this. It's not a particularly cheap tool because it is a precision instrument. When we talk about cheap, we don't necessarily mean that something is cheap or expensive. You can't have something like this which has cheap parts in it. The SAA is the place to go and find the Dotspen, and I will let you all go and navigate your way over to the SAA page to discover just how much it is and what variations you can get in terms of refills. What I will try to do is go back through the comments later on, and I will put a link to it. So I'm just playing. I'm in my happy place now with my dots. I have noticed when I've been using the dot pen that actually if you use it on its side you get a slightly finer mark. So you can do some really detailed things, or you can have it up above and use it that way. So I'm going to just stop that temporarily. I'm going to just wipe the nib off with my fingers ever so slightly because I've coated it with a bit of ink on the side, and I'm going to put that and show you the project that I'm going to demonstrate for you today. Now, it is on the paper, it's very faint, and I'll tell you about that in a second. I will share with you the photograph that I am working from. It is this Snow Leopard that I found on Pixabay. Isn't that a fantastic photo? And I just thought that because it's sort of emerging from the background, it would make a really good subject matter. When I take you back to the overhead cam and you can see it on the black paper, I can almost hear you all saying, well, that's brilliant, Ali, but why have you not drawn it out in white? A, so that we can see it better, and B, so that you can see it better. Okay, there is a reason for that. I've drawn it out in a graphite pencil, just an ordinary 2B pencil. There you go, you can see I'm getting the light to shine off it. I've done that because if I draw it out in a white pencil, I'm going to have a very solid white line, which I don't want. I want it to be a dotty version. And I'm just going to do a little bit of this today so that you can see how it works. So let's fire up the dots pen again. And there we go. I did charge it overnight, but I have been playing around with it this morning, so I was wondering if it was going to run out of charge. So let's get started on this. So we're going to start with the eyes because I want to get those in nice and quickly, and where I want there to be a nice detailed line, I have the dots closer together. But here, for example, where we start to see the fur on the Snow Leopard, I can space my dots out a little bit more. So it's as if I'm sketching, but I'm hovering above the piece of paper. And I think the first thing I will do is I will get the kind of the majority of the marks in so that I give myself a nice guide as to where eyes, eyebrows and that kind of thing are. I'm trying to move my hand around so that you can see it being created and see the results at the same time. And let's get that kind of eye shape in down there. And hopefully you can start to see he or she, I'm not quite sure, appearing on the piece of paper. I can see that already some of you are thinking about other subject matter that this would do for. I can see that Lou said that it would make a great spider's web. Lou, you're not wrong. And we are right in the middle of spiderweb season, aren't we? So there's plenty of inspiration on our buildings and hedgerows and the like. What else have we got? Let's get some of the kind of nostril in down here. And I've got my reference material up quite large on my screen in front of me so that I can see it. And let's get some of that contouring in. I've got a bit of a big cat thing going on at the moment. I've got a nice workshop on Saturday, an in-person workshop where we're doing big cat portraits, and we're going to be doing them in acrylic and collage. I'm obviously channeling my inner pussycat today. Now let's start to get some of that kind of furry shading in. Let's get those in, and let's start to get some detail in the eye. So we're grouping those dots closer together because I want there to be more white and less black. So if we group those together, we should find that we get that lovely kind of hooded look. That's marvellous. So let's get that in and across. Now you don't need a dots pen to be able to do this. There is absolutely no reason at all why you can't get a white gel pen. In fact, let's just turn that off. There's no reason at all why you can't get a white gel pen and recreate similar. I'm just being astonishingly lazy today because we haven't all got the money to spend on bits of material like this. Let's start it up again. So just because I am using a dots pen today does not mean you can't use a gel pen. Or what else could you use? You could use the handle of your brush. You could use a cotton bud. There's all sorts of ways that you could recreate your dots for International Dots Day. And I was doing a bit of research before my demonstration this morning about International Dots Day and why it is, and who created it and all sorts of things. And I would encourage you to go and have a look too, because it's really interesting. And effectively it was invented, designed, created in order to bring together people, to bring together artists, to create a talking point, just to have a way of encouraging people to create. And as you know, I'm a big advocate for things like that. Encouraging you, getting you to collaborate with each other. If you've seen any of the Artist Demo Days demonstrations over the weekend, you will know that the 6 of us are really heavily into our collaboration. And therefore, artists do not work alone. I've spoken about this before, haven't I? So we're getting some whiskers in. Let's get those ears in. Oh, I need to hold the paper down. It does, a dot pen does prefer it if the paper is flat. If the paper's a bit flappy, it doesn't like mark making very much. So we'll get those ear shapes in, or at least get the top of them in. Let's what's this one doing? Going up and over a little bit. And we'll get that going there. So kind of getting the outline of him. I'm going to just put a little bit more in before we say goodbye to each other today. My dot pen definitely prefers being held at this angle and up above. I have to change the way I draw a little bit. I'm so used to moving my hand around. I must remember that my dot pen does all the hard work. So we can start to get some shading in. He's got these incredible eyebrows, just incredible eyebrows up over that side. I'm trying to work him relatively symmetrically so that I don't lose my way with him. Otherwise I can get all enthusiastic about a particular area of him and then I get lost. but you can see that actually the more you do and the more you build up, the more impactful the result. So he's really starting to emerge now. Now let's see if I can get a sort of fuzziness into the area around where his kind of coat and body disappear. So I'm hovering quite far above the paper now and putting in a few little extra dots so that it looks as if he has got a body, so that he's not a floating head. I think I also need to make this more prominent down here at the bottom by grouping these elements together. That's better. Gives it a bit more definition. I know over on the SAA website you have got Anita Pounder has done 2 or 3 demonstrations for you in Dotspen, and I have a feeling, I don't need to have a feeling, I know that the SAA are going to be sharing all sorts of things with you today for International Dots Day, so keep an eye on their social media and their webpage, because you know that they will deliver some interesting bits of information. Now what is it? Why is everyone laughing? Pippa is saying the sound of the pen sounds like the leopard is purring. That's genius. Very well observed, Pippa. And Karine is saying could do with that for my eyebrows. I'm not sure that you'd want it, but I can see what you mean. Let's just increase some of the white down here at the bottom. And then I think for as far as this morning's demonstration is concerned, I think we can call it a day. You can see how speedy it is. And you know me, I like something that can be created quite fast. He's got these kind of puffed out cheeks. Not entirely sure that I've got those in the right place. But never mind. It's just a quick little demonstration so that you can see how a dots pen works. And as pointillism is our theme of the week this week, I shall be interested to see how you guys interpret it and what you do with it. So last few finishing touches, lots of bits and pieces going in, and I'm going to call it a day right there. Let's turn this off, 2 clicks to get down to the slow speed and 1 click to turn it off. And there we go, all ready to go next time. So I can see that some of you are asking about the refills. Can you have 1 pen and several inks? Yes, absolutely. All you do, Gloria, is you change it. So you take that out. What else have we got? Well, I've got my black refill here. So there's the black refill. Don't roll away on me. Stay. So you pull this part out, being careful not to lose the spring. Oh, I haven't got enough hands. Pull the refill out of that little red section, put the black one in, then that goes back into there. And there you go. Hey presto, swapped over. I'd show you that one working, but of course it's black and I've got black paper. So hopefully, Gloria, that answers the question for you. And I'll pop the lid back on before I do anything else with it. So that is the Cuttlelola Dots pen. I thought it would be interesting for you to see how that worked and the sort of thing that you can do with it. But like I said, doesn't have to be with a dots pen. You could use the handle of a brush. You could sit there with your pencil doing your dots. You could experiment with your Posca pens, and there's no reason at all why it has to be tiny dots. It could be big dots. You could get a piece of sponge on the end of a stick and stamp lots of dots on a piece of paper. If you ever get the chance to go and see a pointillist painting in close-up, particularly Surat's Bathers, which is what I used for the advert, then do go and see it, because it's quite incredible the way that the colour is all mixed up. But that is another demonstration for another day. So I hope you enjoyed that, just having a bit of an insight, because you might have been thinking about using a dots pen and not sure whether it's the tool for you or not. You might have a dots pen lurking in the back of your cupboard. thinking I really must do something with that. And so today is the day. It is International Dots Day. So have an experiment. Don't forget you can share any of the paintings that you have done or little sketches. It doesn't have to be anything huge at all. And don't be afraid. Don't worry. Don't think, oh, everybody else is so much better than me. We love to see your work. And if you're interested in sharing your work more and building up a bit of a community, don't forget we have the Learning to Paint page over on Facebook. So that's Learning to Paint with Alison C. Board. You just have to answer a couple of questions, which just basically says, I'll be nice in the group. And then I'll allow you access, and you'll see all sorts of work come out of that, right from real raw beginners up to professionals, and everybody is really enthusiastic about sharing what they do and how they do it. I hope you've enjoyed that today. Technique Tuesday is going to be one with a little bit of a difference next week because, fingers crossed, I will be travelling to Newark on that day to lead my first workshop for the SAA. All very safe and all very considered. The SAA team have been working so hard to make sure that everybody is safe on that day. It will be broadcast live on their website too. So I'm going to do a really quick Technique Tuesday here at the studio at 10 o'clock, because then I'm going to jump in my car and toddle on off to Newark. I've got an online workshop tomorrow, Gold Hill, in pen, ink and mixed media. There is one place remaining on that if anybody would like to take me up on that. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can join me for that all-day workshop. And I'm very excited for Saturday because I get to see just a few of you on Saturday for our Big Cat workshop. Looking forward to seeing you, looking forward to seeing your dotty paintings pop up during the week. You take care, lots of you, and I will see you all very soon. Take care. Bye.